It's gonna be the last. Yeah. As for a second, I was like, wait, why would it be the last Ninja Theory game? But you know, Microsoft will probably shut the studio down. It's like, it didn't even make enough money. Out. Leave.
Looks like
We're shutting you down.
They brought this on themselves.
Soon Xbox is gonna be like Activision Blizzard, only releasing Call of Duty and that's it.
What is this evil he understands that we do not?
Oh no, it isn't. But like, you know, if the trend continues that it has been in the gaming industry, if this game doesn't sell exceptionally well or whatever, they're getting shut down.
These graves are new. So many.
Which inherently is Xbox's own fault as well. They're just putting it on the Game Pass right away. But you know, you gotta wonder like how many people are gonna get Game Pass for this.
You haven't honored these graves.
They don't do it on day one. I don't know. I mean, there must be some data-driven things behind it, I guess.
Are they from this world or another?
It is far worse. It is what they do.
The game we want you to release on our subscription service didn't actually make any money, so have fun finding work by now. Yeah.
If you stop, no.
I don't know how, cause like, how many subscriptions to Game Pass would there have to be to justify whether or not this was like a successful game? You know.
Why is he scared? He knows what they are capable of.
Especially when you give away 14-day promo codes like candies. I mean, I guess that too. Like, you got to think about it too, like, Game Pass, right? Let's say you get on Xbox. You could probably get a Game Pass subscription for what? 15 euros or something? Maybe like 17 or whatever? Instead of like paying the full 60 bucks. I mean, you'd be fucking crazy to not, you know, not pay the full, no, like to pay full price at that point. Because like a game like this, if it's under 6 hours, like or around 6 hours, that people are saying, then you know you're gonna play through this in like if you're really slow with it, a week maximum. You cancel your sub, you get yourself a free game. The rest for the 3 weeks, you might actually be able to play some other games too. And the same thing is what we're gonna have with Call of Duty. Now there are some rumors floating around that they want to start introducing different tiers to Game Pass, and I guess that's probably where it would probably become the thing where day one releases on Game Pass are going to be part of a higher tier, but still you would probably be off cheaper than you know, than a full game. I'd be interested to see how many people just like get Game Pass for 1 month to play the new release and then just cancel it right away. I mean, there's no way that Microsoft is making money that way. I mean, they're kind of just banking on people, banking on people just forgetting the fact they subscribe to the service to begin with. And that's probably how they make the majority of money. If anything, that's the whole subscription model, you know, I guess, hope. I just don't really see how they're...
I will kill you, mad woman.
I mean, it's good for the consumer, yeah, for sure. But it's like, if it's good for the consumer and bad for the devs and or publisher, then it ends up being bad for both. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones that are paying, like buying the games and paying for the games and funding the whole thing. Like, so there's no real benefit to the fact that the business is not making money. Like, if the business is not making money, the studios enter the business, or more so just saying the business has to find a new way of making money, which generally means shutting down a studio or firing people, none of which obviously being any good. So you create this vicious cycle of businesses trying to find new ways to entice people to spend money with them, but in turn ruining their profits and thus ruining people's jobs.
Why do you want to look? There's nothing you can do. She wants to remind
PS3 was free. Yeah, but PlayStation Plus being PlayStation Plus being introduced is solely there because it was a subscription service and they knew Xbox Live was making a shit ton of money. It's free money, really, right? You tell them that, you tell people like, oh, you have to use a subscription in order for you to to be able to play online, which is the predominant thing that most gamers probably do these days, let's be honest. And you basically just create this vicious cycle of having endless money pouring in on a monthly, if not yearly basis, because it's just making a shit ton of money if you make it a requirement to play online. And then you slowly but surely over time increase the price here and there, and you just make more money because, you know, ease claps. You slap it like, oh, it's because of inflation, stuff like that. I mean, your server maintenance probably isn't really that much different than it was. Because with the amount of server capacity that you probably need, you're probably gonna get like a fat discount too, especially if your name is Sony, you know how to do business. So it's all just, you know, a simple, easy amount of money, honestly. Like PlayStation Extra and PlayStation Premium, I mean, it's a fucking robbery that you're paying $150 a year for something that Xbox Game Pass is doing vastly superiorly. Like, what is the point? EA plays because you X amount of access to new releases. Yeah, I mean, that's probably a good way to go about it too. You just give them like an X amount of hours to try out the game, and then, you know, later down the line you give them, you know, you allow them with a discount or anything like that. I think that's EA Play does it. You get to play the game for like 10 hours or whatever it is, and then you get like a 10% discount. It's not ideal, but I guess it's a way, I suppose. I don't know. At the end of the day, like, you know, players just want to play cool games. But sadly, the business behind it often prevents that. So yeah, what are you gonna do? Because like nowadays we have like everything being based on subscriptions. I mean, like later down the line, when I actually figure out where to go and stop being such a doofus and running around in circles, jokes aside, later down the line when Assassin's Creed Shadows is coming out, hell no, I'm not gonna start paying like $100+ for an edition where you can play the games 3 years early when I can go on the PC version and just simply get like Ubisoft Connect Plus or whatever it is called, play the game 3 days early and only pay 18 euros. I mean, there's no way that you're going to make a profit that way, because anyone with a brain is going to pay like $100 less to play the game that they weren't too sure about getting anyways. Like, it's cheaper to get a subscription version of the game that you then quote-unquote don't own. But I mean, who gives a fuck whether or not you own a game after you beat it, right? Because it's a Ubisoft game. Give it like, you know, 2 or 3 weeks and it's like the game is discounted with 30%. Like, should it go this way? Yeah. Or not. It's a sad reality of what the gaming industry has become. Like, to try to find out new ways to make money and all that, and in turn, they just make it worse. But that's just my 2 cents on it. At the end of the day, you know, like, the sad reality with it as well is that there's not really a whole heap that we can do as players, because we just kind of have to accept it. It's, you know, that's the way that it is. Because there's nothing we can inherently do about it, right? Because, like, we cannot really be to blame for the fact that the games that they are releasing aren't fun or aren't good enough.
Face the past.
And like, if you make a bad game, nowadays it's like it seems to be just basically over for you, which is really terrifying. Like, the days of you making a bad game and then getting another chance are practically over, considering how fucking expensive it is nowadays to make a game. Game will never be as good as it used to be. The PS3 and Xbox 360 era had problems, but it was peak we'll never see again. You would start to think that, hey, Other than red nowadays. Gotcha.
Focus. You found
Like,
the
it is
first
undeniable
yes.
that we've had some really good and really solid games this generation.
This place will worm its way into your mind. It will suck.
But I think it's as an industry as a whole, a lot of people are just more interested in multiplayer games nowadays, and a lot of it's just live service. But some games are just like there is still a market out there for really good single player games. I mean, you know, Elden Ring is a fantastic example of a game that is just really good. Like such a fantastic game.
Face your fear. Focus. You found another path.
Like, I mean, another one is like Spider-Man or any of the Sony exclusives.
I warn you.
But I think there's a lot of companies out there that are just kind of afraid to take risks anymore because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth taking risks. Because if you take a risk, you know, you go into financial ruin and your studio will never be seen again. And it's kind of like, I've seen an argument being made that indie studios are kind of like, you know, it's kind of like become the place to look at this generation.
Don't stop here.
I mean, if I have to think about an indie game that I really enjoyed, I immediately have to think about something like Call of the Lamb, or, you know, I think there's probably other examples that I can't really think of right now, but the PS2, I guess PS2, like, there was a lot more experimenting, because, like, if you look at, I think a very interesting statistic to look up, and if anyone wants to, be grateful to see how much the cost was on average to make, you know, a PS3 game or a PS2 game. Because PS2 games back then, they took what, like a year, like maybe 2 years if they were really stretching it. PS3 already started like be at least like a, you know, a 2-year cycle on average, I would assume. And I mean, nowadays it just takes like what, 3-4 years to make a game, and it's made by thousands upon thousands of people. Because, like, I mean, games graphically are just, I guess, also just have a higher standard than back then too. And I think it's also partly because of social media. I mean, like, if I wanted to get a bunch of interactions on Twitter, right? All I had to do was just kind of see if I could nitpick something about this game, post it, make like a whole big fuss about it.
Above, on that platform. There.
And then go from there, right? And it doesn't have to be true or not. I just wanted to push a narrative. People will follow that narrative, and the game could be potentially just completely ruined. I think I might have to go there instead. There's another door. And they will make a community post about you? Oh yeah, I'm sure. Imagine getting a community note that it could have been me.
They are all dead. Dead, Senua.
They were all dead. The final gunshot wounds was an exclamation point. Something. Anyways, where's this K? Got you on the labor? I mean, that's another thing too. Fucking AI. Like, they're starting to look into that too.
Everywhere bodies. Covered in blood.
Don't think.
Was it? Baldur's Gate 3 was a glance at the past, against your start to finished product, and the skeleton of a game, and the small slither of a game. Now some life source retention focus, slog, start to finish complete experience. To be fair, there's still, like, I mean, again, Elden Ring comes to mind as being one of those games that was just really fucking good. Spider-Man 2 kind of comes to mind as well. There's definitely, you know. I'm definitely going to check out X Defiant today. Yeah. I'll probably start an evening stream early for that too. That should be an experience. But yeah, I mean, maybe like there will be, because like Another thing too is, right, it's in some way I kind of feel that at some point this bubble is gonna burst. I think I saw something there. And when this is, I guess, live servers thing or whatever it is that they're doing is gonna burst, then, you know, maybe then there will be a change, because, yeah. I'm definitely playing the Elden Ring expansion in June, 100%. There were some sticks there. Is there like an angle or something in? And hi says. But we shall see.
There's no need to stay here.
Move on.
Oh, here we go.
It's somewhere around here. Look. She can feel it. Look closer.
Close. We need to find another
She
angle.
needs to find another angle.
Can I get up here or no?